welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus, living in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people?
And we got a legend in the building today. I'm putting them on the Mount Rushmore. Coaches in Chicago with 6 state championships, 7 city championships, came to Simeon in 2004 and changed the whole game up. Man, give it up for Coach Rob Smith, man. What's up, Coach?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
Man, what's up, Rob?
Hey, I'm glad y'all invited me on the show, man. I told y'all when y'all came on my show I wanted to be on, and here now I'm on, man. I appreciate you guys, man.
And I left out the 13 Rings, host of the 13 Rings, one of the co-hosts of that. My bad on that, Coach.
Oh, that's right. I appreciate it. I mean, like I say, you guys came on, man, and it's crazy because you guys, when y'all came on, we got a great feedback from when you guys were on. Your guys' show and the one with Antoine Walker, you know, that was one of the 2 biggest hits we got so far. You know, and we got some good feedback from the other ones, but you know, we had a really good feedback from those 2 shows. And I think, Liv, yours was really good because a bunch of people from U of I tuned in for that, and they got some good insight on what was really going on. And that was big for our show. So we really appreciate you guys too.
Yeah, and Bob, Bob and Rob, both of you guys know like what we all about. Rob, you know, the co-founder, creator of All Ball Chicago, with myself, and we just wanted to be positive, man, on some positive things, man, and we want to work together. You know, we don't want to go against each other. We want to work together. So when you ask us to come on, you know, 13 Rings, vice versa, you come on, you know, All Ball Chicago and chop it up with us. So, man, appreciate that for one.
No,
appreciate that.
And number love, man. And number love.
No doubt. And as far as those shoes go, man, when you was on 13 Rings talking about, you know, me and Lanny got you for the shoes, man. Man. But you got a Nike contract, so with at Simeon, so you got all the shoes you want.
Man, Liv, that was just low down how y'all did it. You had me down at breakfast. You had me down at breakfast chopping up with you and Lenny up there stealing my shoes. that ain't even right, man.
So for all the listeners out there, man, they did a Nike camp in St. Louis, and me, Rob, and Lanny Irvin was down there, and we were just having a ball down there with the kids, man, teaching them the game of basketball, looking up, and we went out to we used to talk all night. We used to talk all night, man, and just chop it up. And then Rob, by the time it was time to check out, he had these shoes, man, that I don't even think he brought out the box yet. You know, and so the story he's talking about, me and Lanny hit him up, so it was a setup, you know. But I would never do my Chicago brother like that. Now, if it was somebody else, you know, we probably would have got it. You know?
Who got the shoes, man?
Lenny got them.
One of them local cats got it, man.
Hey, Bob, see, Liv don't wear my size. Lenny do. We both wear the same size. So when I showed Lenny the shoes, he kept saying, "Oh, them slick." All weekend.
Man.
When you gonna put them shoes on? When you gonna wear them to camp? I was like, no, I gotta wear the same shoes everybody else got. So he know they in the room. You know what I'm saying? He know they in there. I'm packing up. Grab my box. There's an empty box with no shoes in it.
Hey, no force of entry.
No forced entry or nothing. My laptop's still there. My iPod's still there. Everything's still there but my shoes, man.
You know what you did, Rob. You thought you closed that door behind you, man. That door was cracked.
Hey, and you know them doors didn't close, man. You thought they was locked. They weren't locked it up. But just talking about that, and I still work that camp, Liv.
Okay.
I still work that camp, and it's impressive for a guy like you and some other guys who's working it now, you know, who played in the NBA and did those things, to go back and people don't know we slept in the dorms.
Yep.
You know, we were in the dorms. We was in St. Louis dorms. We didn't have no hotels. We slept in the dorms with the kids.
Yeah.
You know, and you get a guy who like Lib and some of the other guys. I got Junior Burrows who works there with me, and Corey Alexander is there with me now. Those guys are at camp now, and we sleeping in the dorms with the kids.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how you know people are really giving back. They ain't worried about no hotel room and doing all that type of stuff. So it's funny, Lib. The new guys who claim I just gave what you told. Like we just stayed up till we couldn't stay up no more. And then we
That's
went
right.
upstairs. We was in the king size bed.
I said, man, we don't need to go to sleep, man. We can just chop it up with them all night, man. We was downstairs, man, right in the front of the dorms, man, just chopping it up. But back to what you were saying about, you know, the dorm hanging out. I loved it. You know, actually, it was fun. You know, we go down and eat with the kids, talk to them, mingle, sit at the tables with them. And those kids were the future, man. Like they were the next big thing coming up. So I enjoyed it, man.
We had Bobby Portis.
Yep.
With us at the table all the time. Moutier.
Yeah.
With us all the time. And these kids were coming to sit with us every day at the tables trying to get it, you know, and what they did to do while they were there, and then talking to Liv about college and the NBA and what it's going to take and all those type of things. And I mean, you talking about kids sitting there we go to breakfast, they come talking to them. They go to lunch, they coming back talking to them. Did you see me at the night session? How did I do? And when you critique them, they didn't have a problem with the criticism.
Nope.
That's how you knew they was going to be able to make it, because they didn't have a problem. Because, you know, you could tell them, well, man, you kind of stuffed it today. You ain't give it your all. Then they go, right. You know, some guys was going to sit with some other people when you told them that. You know, them kids were standing there like, okay, thank you. What did I do wrong? What I need to do tomorrow, and those type of things. So I thought that was impressive from them kids for, you know, them to come sit down and camp. They kind of asked the kids to do that because of the minds that they have around them, you know, the coaches and stuff like that that's around them. So those are two I remember for a fact, but there's been many, you know, since then. I've been doing it now ever since, you know, me and you did it that first time. So I'm almost a veteran at the camp.
You the vet, yeah, you the vet.
Yeah. A lot of guys are new coming in who played. I mean, Rasheed Wallace is there with us, you know. Yep. She don't stay in the dorms though. She don't stand.
They ain't got a bed big enough for that boy, man.
He said, Rob, I'll stay with y'all. They ain't got no bed over here big enough for me.
Hey, but let me put the brakes on it, Rob. Go ahead. I'll let you get this one off, and then I want to just rewind all the way back.
But he comes over and eat with the kids like we did, Live, and talk to them and do. He does that part. You know, he just doesn't sleep in the dorms with us, but he comes and stay over, you know, as long as he can stay over, and then he go back to the but it's all the same, and it's a great thing for those kids. I really think it.
And let me throw this hook at you right quick, Big Rob. I want to go all the way back, and then Liv, you can hop right in.
All right,
man. Where did you come from, man? Like you showed up, and then you at Simeon 2004, you just did your thing. Where did you come from? Where did all this stuff come from, Robert Smith, man?
Well, I'm from LeClaire Courts. You know, I grew up with Chris Harris and Robertus Robinson and Ahmad Sharif and Fred Schofield, all them guys, and Tommy Cunningham. All them guys went to King. You know, and I went to Simeon. You know, so I was there my whole time and was there for 4 years. Not a guy nobody knew. I'm not from the South Side. So
what year did you come there?
I came in the 86, 87 year. So it was Melvin's senior year. So I came after 86, after Nick them left. I was a freshman.
Right, and I was there doing half of a fifth year. I was there when he was there too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Came with a guy nobody knew. I didn't know nothing about Simeon when I first went there. Nothing. Guy at my park, Harold German, was really good friends with Coach Hambry. And when I was coming up, I was bad. I'm just be honest, I was bad. You know, in my neighborhood, I was bad. I probably, from my childhood, I don't know how much I was outside. My mama kept me on punishment so much, I don't know what outside used to look like. So the guy at the park was the only one who could, you know, get me to come to the park. He had to come get me from the park, take me back home. There's another guy, Mr. Pammon, who's a baseball guy, because I played baseball a little bit too. Them was the only two guys who can come and get me. But they had to pick me up and bring me back. I know walking home by myself, because my mama knew I was going to go somewhere else if I could go by myself. So they had to do that. And Mr. German said, you know what, you need some discipline. You know, because my father wasn't at home with me. He said, I got somebody for you who's gonna this. So he went and talked to my mother. And I told my mother, I ain't going. I don't know nothing about no South Side. I ain't finna go over there. I don't know nothing about it. She said, you going, because he said this is going to be a good place for you to go to school at. And this man going to take care of you. I don't know Coach Hambrick. I don't know nobody in the building. Absolutely nobody. Not a soul. I don't even know how to get there. Right. So my mother said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to sit on next to the bus driver. You're going to go down. You're going to take you down to 47th Street and you ask him where you get off at. And then he going to tell you and you follow that and you get on the next bus and that bus driver going to tell you where to get. My mama don't even know how to get there.
Right.
So we're from the west side. We don't know where we're going. So I go in this unfamiliar territory. I don't know nothing about nothing. And I get there and, you know, I meet a couple people and then now they got trials for the team. And it seems like it's 2 billion people in that. So Coach Hambrick picks me out of the group of people he picked and all that type of stuff. And, you know, everybody else was people that they knew from elementary school who they pretty much had brought there, you know. And he just was like, you know, how hard I played. You know, I wasn't very skilled. I just played hard. I can guard people. I can do those things, and I can run a team. So he was like, okay, cool. So I was there my whole time, and that was it. Wow. You know, and he became like my father, though. You know, and I tell people all the time, and he know when we first started, I didn't like him because he was too disciplined for me. I'm like, man, this ain't it right here, man. I ain't doing this, you know. Right. He's in the hallway. He got, no, man, I can't do this. So I told my mother when I was a sophomore, I'm transferring. She said, you ain't going nowhere. She said, because I know that he doing what's right. That's why you want to leave. Mm-hmm. You know, he doing what's right. That's why you want to leave. If he was just letting you do what you want to do, you'll be fine. So I kind of stayed away from him the whole time I was in high school. You know, you know, Bob, how people went to his office and talked to him. I went the total opposite way. I just stayed away from him. Wow. Because I thought he was just this mean old man. You know, I don't know what he's doing for me. You know, I don't know he's making me a man. Right. Right. I know that at the time. You know, and that's what he was doing. He was holding me accountable for everything. You know. So then I do that, and then I go off to college and play. I went to Casper, where Melvin was my coach. Ended up being a second-team All-American, and I went to Baylor for a year. And my coach got fired once I got to Baylor. Oh. And Tracy Dildy was at UIC, and he was like, Rob, you should come home, man. He told me, because we went to National, he said, your coach finna get fired. He was like, you need to come home. I said, man, Trey, I don't know if I can come to the crib. I said, I don't know if I can come. He said, your coach finna get fired, though. So 2 weeks later, my coach was fired. Wow. And I'm talking to my mother, I'm like, look, UIC asking me to come. She's like, Rob, if you come back home, I don't know how this gonna be. I said, you know what, Ma, you might be right. I'm gonna go to Baylor anyway. You know, so I went with a new coach who wasn't my coach. He coming from an NAIA school, Oklahoma City, where they, you know, he's a really good coach, but now he like, I gotta get my own people in here. Right. You know. And his name was Daryl Johnson. I respect it because I started the beginning of the season and we kind of was okay, and then we kind of fell off a little bit, and then he starting another kid who was from Houston in town, you know, and all that type of stuff. And then at the end, he just was like, hey man, I got to fill the seats up. You know, I got to get local kids in here. He was like, you can stay for your senior year. I don't know how much you're going to play, or I help you go someplace else. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? That's how he came at me in our exit meeting. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. So I said, you know what? You can help me get someplace else. I'm fine. I just want to play some basketball. That's all I want to do and finish up my education. Me going to the NBA and all that, I don't see that happening. I just want to play some ball and get my education. Because if I ain't playing ball, this probably going to be it. I ain't going to be going to school just to be going. Right. I'm going to an NAIA school in Oklahoma and playing and graduating from there. And then I come back home, and Mike Oliver at Curie, you know, I'm at the gym in LeClaire. We just playing, and he coaching already. He like, man, I want you to come help me coach. I said, Mike, I ain't gonna be bothering them kids. I said, I'm not about to do that. He was like, well, just come over and just watch. I was like, all right, I'll come watch. So I go over and watch, and I found myself saying, man, he should have did this. You know what I'm saying? He should have did that. And then the kid come to the side, like, well, why did you do this? And why did you do that? And then I leave. He's like, you coming back? I'm like, I'm not coming back up there. I came out one time, I'm not coming back. So then about a week later, I called him and said, Mike, I'm gonna come up there and just watch again. And he knew he had me after I came back. Right. I ain't had to call you. You came on your own. I got him now.
Right.
So then I just started helping and I started doing something. And he's like, you know what? You're going to coach the freshman team. I said, the freshman team? He said, yeah, you're going to coach the freshman team. Here go your team right here. You take them. So I started coaching them. We ended up winning the city championship my first year at Curie.
Wow. Damn.
And then we go back. I go back, and then Mike gets the head coaching job, and I take the sophomores. Sophomore team, the year before, we had just won the city championship, and then we come back the next year and win it with me, my first year at Curie. We won it. And then we beat Simeon in the city championship. Beat them by like 30 something. Oh. And I had a bunch of little midgets like Mike had now with his Curie team that pressed down and all that. And then Coach Hamrick asked me to come over, after that, because Coach Mike was retiring. And what was real positive, I didn't graduate after I got done in Oklahoma. So he said, first question he asked me was, do you have your degree? I was like, no, I'm like 6 or 7 hours short. He said, well, you can't work here. He said, you can't work here if you don't have your degree. Because he said, if something happened to me tomorrow, you can't even get the job because you don't have your degree. Oh. I said, well, no problem. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to school. I called my coach. I said, look, I need to come finish up my degree. He was like, no problem. You can come back. They paid for me to go to school. I only needed a semester. I did the semester of school. I came back. I went to school in August. I graduated in November. I was back at Simeon sidelines in December coaching that same year. Wow. Then we went there, and then when he got ready to retire, I didn't know that he was going to pick me because, that's everybody like this, a big thing. And he sat me down and said, I think you're ready now to step in because I'm about to leave. This is going to be my last season. He said, I think you're ready to do this. And I'm saying, oh, yeah, okay, cool. I'm thinking that, okay. But then I'm listening to people talk. You ready for this? You going to be able to, fall in his footsteps? That's not a good thing to do and all that. And I'm like, the man got confidence in me in doing it, so I must be ready to do it because he ain't just going to pick anybody. Right. Because he had a lot of people to pick from.
He had a lot of people to pick from, Rob.
Yeah, he had a lot of people to pick from. And for him to pick me was saying a lot.
Yeah.
And we had many conversations, about different stuff. And, as I became to be a grown man, I told him, man, I ain't like you when I was a kid. And he said, you wasn't supposed to like me either. Right. That's what he said, you weren't supposed to like me. I wasn't here to like me. I was here to make you become to be a man. So it just turned out in that way. And then after that, picking my staff was really good, and it didn't help. He left me. And that's what I really appreciate about him. Coach Hammer could have stayed another 3 years because he had Derrick Rose and Tim Flowers. That's right. Mm-hmm. He could have stayed 3 years and rolled it out with them guys and said, hey, I have opportunities to win state championship because I got these guys, Mm-hmm. But what he did was, and what he told me is like, hey, you have a team that's going to help you be successful. Yeah, I ain't going to leave you here with nothing. Here you go. You have a team. They played for you. They understand you. You can have these guys and you can be successful with that. So now it won't be a turnaround where it looks bad. Right. You coming in with some guys. People going to still be on Simeon because you got Derrick, you got Tim, you got these other kids, and then you just roll from there and just build from there. Because we had just won the city championship with those guys.
But Rob, that just shows you though what kind of guy Hambrick was though. Yeah. He could have easily been selfish and said, you know what, I'm gonna ride it out until these guys gone, and then I'm gonna let you take it over. Then you rebuild it the way you need to rebuild it. He was looking out for Simeon. Actually, he was looking out for Simeon one, and then you as the head coach. I just can't give you not so good players, or you got to rebuild. I'm gonna give you some guys that's already been through the trenches already, and you just got to groom them the way you want them. So, man, big ups to Bob Hambrick. A lot of people don't give a lot of Chicago public school coaches who are in the school system doing their thing, trying to help young men become better on and off the court. And I think Bob Hambrick is a perfect example, and you taking it and spearheading it even further with the things that you're doing, Rob. So big ups to you, man, for doing that. And now let's jump into some of the things that you've been doing as far as with some of these guys, like you just mentioned Derrick Rose, for instance. Derrick Rose was one of your guys that you had the opportunity. And we all know elite players, we're going to say it, elite players are hard to coach. Some elite players are really hard to coach to get them to buy into what you're trying to do. So how did you get Derrick Rose to to buy in, because you're a new coach coming in, how you get them to buy into what you wanted them to do?
Well, Derek was unselfish, and all he wanted to do was win. You know, Derek, his senior year then wasn't the leading scorer on our team. Tim Flowers was. You know, and Derek could have easily been the leading scorer, period. But all he wanted to do was win. That's all he wanted to do was win. He didn't care nothing about no points. He didn't care nothing about no fame. He didn't care about none of that stuff. All he wanted to do was win. And when you got guys like that, you guys know it makes your job so much easier.
That's right.
It makes it so much easier when you got guys who just want to win. And that helped out everybody because he just wanted to win. And he was so unselfish that it just trickled down to everybody else. You know, all the egos went out the window. Everybody knew, hey, he's the best player. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But all he wants to do is win. And them guys bought into their role because he bought into his role. You know, he didn't think he was better than them. And then the biggest thing about it is they was all friends. And they still friends to today. So that helped out tremendous. They spent the night at each other's house. So they trusted each other on the court and off the court. You know, so that was part of when he came there that I said, like, look, if you come here, you need to bring.
Did we lose him? Did we lose him, Bob?
No,
there we go.
Somebody called in. I'm still
okay.
So I told him that you need to bring your friends here who you comfortable with, who you want to play with. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make it easier. You bring who you want. I don't gotta go get no.
Right. Somebody trying to get you, Bob. Rob.
Somebody trying to get Rob.
Somebody trying to get him on the phone.
They keep the line. So that's what he did. He went and got his friends. You know what I'm saying? He went and got his friends who he wanted to play with and all those type of things. So it made it so much easier. So, you know, and it was great coaching them. You know, for a time I was the coach who coached them the longest. Because I had coached him for 4 years. You know, he was only in Memphis for 1 year.
Right.
When he first got with the Brewers, they had a coach, and then that coach left. So I think he coached him 2 years. Then Tibbs now has coached him the longest. You know, out of his whole coaching career has been Tibbs now. But at one point, I was the only one who had coached him for 4 years.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
And you can see that too, Rob, of Derrick Rose. You can see that he had that winning mentality. Every time he stepped on the court, whether that was Memphis, you know, in the NBA, and still right to this day, you know, when people try to feel like, yep, I love this game. I know what I need to do, you know, and he's still playing and still hooping, man, and doing his thing. And that's one thing I say about Chicago Hoopers. And I think we all can be a testament to that a lot of our Chicago Hoopers, you know, they have that tough mentality that, you know, I love this game and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be out there on this court. For one, we don't like sitting down on the bench, so we know we're going to do whatever it takes to get on that floor. So, man, big shout out to you and Derrick.
And another thing I loved about him was when them lights got bright, I never had to worry about him. Never. If we playing somebody that's like, yeah, just okay, he go through the motions and all that. But when you talking about the Oak Hills and at that time the Julians and the Cranes and I didn't have to worry about him at all. I was like, we straight because I know what he gonna do. I ain't got to worry about that. And you know that's big when them lights get bright and they can go out there and perform. And he did it all the time. Every time.
You're right, Bob. You're right. Because there's a lot of people that can't do it. You're right. Them lights come on, man.
I love hearing that. I love hearing this firsthand account. I love it.
Them lights come on, man. People disappear. So you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah. I mean, Kanan and Jabari was the same way. When them lights got bright, they was ready. Taylor Horton Tucker, them lights got bright. They was ready to go. They like, come on, I got it. You know, and that's what you look for. You know, I tell people all the time, you could be good against Little Sisters of the Poor. Show me when there's these people, other people could play on other sides. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna show you to play or not.
Hey man, that boy Taylor went down there and killed that boy that's playing for New York right now, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that was his come out everything.
What was that boy name playing in New York right now?
RJ Barrett.
Man, Taylor, man, I saw that video. He was bodying that boy, wasn't he?
But the thing about it was that was so good. The kid is so smart and he understood so much. He asked me to take him to certain places so he could show people he could play. So we went to the City of Palms out there in Florida. because he knew all the people was gonna be out there. He destroyed the city of Palms. You know, he went from out with not being ranked and getting in the top 50 just from the city of Palms. Then he said, Coach, I want to play against RJ Barrett. I want to play Mount Vernon. Oh, no problem. We'll play Mount Vernon. As long as you say you got it, I'm cool with it. You know, to bring it too, because these guys, these pros we about to play against.
Exactly.
They wrote it. I mean, we ended up losing by like 2 or 3 points, but the game was right there for us for the taking. And Taylor get about 26 or 27, and RJ doing an interview, and this respect. RJ doing an interview, and we coming in the locker room. He stopped this interview and go to Taylor and say, "Man, you could play." You know what I'm saying? Give him some data, like, man, you got game. And then
Taylor put on a showdown there, man. I saw that video. I saw it. They had the video. Ball is Life did it.
Yeah.
My son was like, man, Taylor they grew up like a mug, you know. So shout out to that, man, to Taylor, man.
Yeah, but I think Bob, both of you guys are hitting things on point with Taylor. And Taylor, I remember watching him play. I was like, man, he got long arms, you know. He got some very long arms, man. And when I look at, that's what I noticed when I look at basketball players. I look at their length, like, man, I'm like, okay, he can get in the passing lane. He got big hands. He can get up and down the court. You know, he can dunk. He's athletic, you know. And I'm just proud, man, to say that, you know, I know he's from Simeon in Chicago, but Taylor is working, man. He's putting in that work, man, because he wants to be on that big stage. You know, he wants to be on that big stage, and it's gonna happen, man. I see it happening for him, and big shout out to him. And you got your, you know, K9 doing his thing. So Simeon is about it, you know, right now. It really is about it. You guys got so many players. How many you got? 6?
We got 6 that's overall that's in that, you know, you got Zach that's in the G League, you got Dante Ingram that's in the G League as well, who played at Loyola, you know, and then you got Derek and you got Jabari. And so
Dante was cold too. Lefty, right?
Yeah, lefty, yeah.
I like him, man.
You speak about Taylor, he got a 7'1" wingspan.
Wow.
You know, and that he really all arms, you know, when you look, say arms all the way down to his knees when he walking. You know, and then the other side too is he's a young kid, man. He just turned 19 in November.
Man, he the same age as my son Colin. I told Liv that. They played on the same AAU team, and people like, he too old. He was only 14 years old then.
Yeah, he's a young kid. He graduated when he was 17.
Yeah, so but he was just a grade up.
So why your kid didn't go to Simeon then?
That's another show, Liv. You gotta ask their mama that one. I can't get into that, man. But
you went to Simeon and your kid stay out. Come on, man. That's supposed to be right there. He's supposed to be with Rob right now, man. You got a young one right now.
You see the jersey, man. You see the jersey, man.
Go ahead. What you brother?
I was just gonna say, Rob, did you ever just sit at home and say, scratch your head like, look at this, how this lined up for me, man? Because my mom wanted me to go out here. I didn't want to do it. And now here it is. I'm a 6-time state champ, city champ, kids in the league. You ever say something? I mean, you ever sit back and say, what the hell happened here?
No. I mean, one thing Coach Hambrick taught us when we was younger, and you would know, is that you're supposed to expect and know these things already. You know what I'm saying? They like already put in place for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And do they all come how you want them to be? No. So at the beginning of this whole journey, when I first got the job, I set goals for myself to see if I can reach them goals. You know, I wanted to have the most state championships out of everybody before I stopped. I wanted to have the most city championships before I stopped. And I wanted to have 500 wins before I stopped. You know, those are goals I set at the very beginning to try to reach. If you tell somebody that, they're gonna be like, man, that ain't realistic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for me, that was realistic for me. You know what I'm saying? It might not be for somebody else, but for me, that was realistic. So I spent my time and all my hours and everything trying to get these goals that I put in front of myself. You know, so once I started reaching them, I'm like, whoa, here we go. Now we here. You know, I'm a step closer. You know, I'm a step closer. And then when I got them, it's like, okay, now what next? Okay, now I'm making sure every kid go to college for free, which I did at the beginning. But now I want to try to see if I can get 4 or 5 of these guys to go Division I. You know, because right now we got the most kids in the state of Illinois playing Division I basketball.
Wow.
You know, a little bitty school on 83rd Street. You know, with what they say the poor academics. You know what I'm saying? But we got kids that went to Duke. I don't care how good a basketball player, you still gotta have some grades to go to Duke. You gotta have some grades to go to U of I. I got a kid that go to Wofford right now. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have some grades to get up in there, man.
You know what I'm saying? So this ain't just about no basketball. This is, you know, they going to high academic school. So when this stuff ends, they gonna be prepared to be able to do these other things too. Because it ain't just about basketball, because everybody ain't gonna make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they doing what they supposed to be doing.
I can attest to that, Rob, because I graduated from Simeon, and people don't understand, man. Those teachers, I know when I was there, they didn't play about those books, bro, and about that homework. It was very strict.
Yeah, and I used to, I mean, it's barbershop talk, you know, and that kind of motivated me a little bit more because guys was in the barbershop, you know, all the kids from Simeon just go to junior college. They don't go D1. You know what I'm saying? And this is after that little transition of after Nick and all those guys. And when you look at it, it started to come fruition that was true. So I'm like, you know what? That's something else I got to change. We got to get up in here and get these books. You know what I'm saying? We got to do that part. When Derek them come my first class with them, we sent 3 guys Division I. Derek goes to Memphis. Tim Flowers goes to UMK, and so does Kevin Johnson. Those 3 go. You know what I'm saying? So now my thing is now every year I got to send guys Division I. Some people can't go because of basketball wise. You know, they could be great students, but they might not be a Division I basketball player to go there. I get that. So you might have to go another route to get there. I'm cool with that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at a kid we had, Cody Butler's nephew, Lazarick Jones, who played at UCLA. Yeah. You know, he was a qualifier, but he had IUPUI coming out of high school. That was the only school that was recruiting him.
Right.
And he ended up going to John Logan for college.
Okay.
After his freshman year, he ended up getting like maybe UIC, Detroit, something. It was still low major. He said, you know what, coach, I'm going to go back. He went back, and then he had Kansas and California and then UCLA. And I said, well, if you go to UCLA on a visit, before you take any other visit, you ain't going no place. He went to
Palm trees.
He went to UCLA and he committed while he was on his visit. I said, place else if you go down there.
Man, that's the Mecca, ain't it?
Yeah. He's the first player that UCLA had that ever came from junior college. And he came in as captain. You know, and he never started at Simeon. He came off the bench his whole career as a 6th man.
Wow.
You know. But those are things, and he was a qualifier out of high school, but just look, he could have been going to IUPUI had he just took something like, I'm just going to take this because it's Division I.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And now he plays overseas, and he's been over there for some years, you know.
And that shows you what Simeon is all about, too, as far as raising. It takes a village to make sure our kids have the proper education. You doing your thing because you're doing both, actually, Rob, right? I think you counseling over there too, right?
No, I'm the dean.
Dean, okay, dean of students. And so you seeing it firsthand, though, what's really going on at the school. A lot of coaches that take these jobs, they become, I'm not saying anything wrong with it, they become security, you know, making sure the hallways are everybody uptight and doing their thing, whatever. But academically, you know, are you really seeing what's going on so you can help these kids become? That's what was special about Cox too, because Cox was a counselor, you know, so Cox saw exactly what we were doing and what we needed to make sure we were on the right track. So I like that when I know that coaches are involved academically on what's really going on with the kids, you know, and I think that's a missing piece in Chicago that people really don't talk about. And some principals, you need principals to back you too, because it starts from the top, you know, it starts from the top. So if the principal's not on board, you got to get that support from the principals, man, when you have an athletic program like such as Simeon right now, that you got to have that.
So what I did, Liv, was I created a guy that was a counselor who did the stuff for the student athletes in the building period. That was for all the sports. It wasn't just basketball. Okay. So my principal at the time, I said, the only way we're going to get these kids to be able to go to Division I school, we need somebody who understands it, because the regular counselor, Cox was a basketball person, so he know. the regular counselor don't know what you need to go to college with. They don't know what the core classes is. They just know you need this stuff to graduate from the public high school. You know what I'm saying? Right. They don't know that you need these 4 English and these 3 science. They don't know that type of stuff. We need somebody in here who knows this stuff so they can help these guys to understand that I got to get A's and B's in these core classes so I can be able to go to school, and I got to be taking the right core classes to go. So I had got a guy who was in a counseling office, and he took that challenge on. He ended up was a manager at U of I. And then he came back. Once he graduated, he came to Chicago and worked. So he started, Mr. Kastner. He started, me and him was, we worked together, but he knew, he researched everything. He knew what the core classes was. He knew what it was. So what he did was he said, you guys identify who you think as freshmen who may have a chance to go play Division I, and I will track them all the way through.
Wow.
Because he can't do everybody because he has another caseload. And then he said, hey, if in junior year, Johnny starts to look like he's going to be able to get there, I will grab his stuff too and look at it and make sure he's taking the right class and doing what he's supposed to be doing to get there. And once he did that, that helped me out because now I had another piece to somebody to help me because, I can't coach, be the dean, and make sure you're doing all the right classes, practice, and I couldn't do that all by myself. So he was really huge for me. And then when he left, he trained another guy to do it, and then that guy ended up leaving and he trained somebody to do it. So that's been our success right now as far as getting the kids to have everything that they need to have and taking the right classes and knowing what they're supposed to be doing. That's been our success. Because, the counselors got a lot to do anyway. They don't got time to think, be worried about what's a core class. And it's just a lot they have already got on their plate. You know what I'm saying? So this guy was able to do it in his workload, and he taught the other guy how to do it in his workload. So it just been successful since then, and that's what's been the big point for us to get to that point right now.
But Rob, don't you think CPS need to take control of that, because, we have a lot of successful athletes that come out of public schools. I think the budget or whatever they need to do to find, I mean, I like what you did. You went out and did it on your own, but I think that should come from the top, as far as making sure that you guys have exactly what you need so our kids can have the proper, courses that they need and do this and do that. So they be on point, not just to graduate, but to get into college, because you're right. There's a lot of times they take these wrong classes and you like, I just need to get eligible and I want to, so I can do this and that, but you taking classes that's not going to mean nothing when you get ready to go to college.
Right.
I think the CPS needs to step up and implement that across the board, not just, Simeon, not just Curie, not just your elite schools, because as we see, Phillips High School has a lot, it's starting to dominate in the football now.
Right, definitely.
So we need that across the board in the city, man. So whatever you doing, maybe the CPS can, the people up top can say, well, man, Simeon has got a success rate of doing it. Maybe we need to just hire somebody to go across the board and just go to all these schools and check it out to make sure everybody's on the right path to get into college.
And Liv, you might have just cut Coach Rob out about 6 figures on that one. I think that's a 6-figure gig there.
I hear you. I didn't hear you.
I said you might have cut him out of 6 figures right there. That's a 6-figure job there. We don't want to.
No, it's something for me. I want to see all the kids make it.
Right.
But that's my thing. So whatever anybody need from me to see how I did it, or what did I do? I had no problem with telling them or showing them how to do it. If they got somebody in their building that's willing to do it and do those things, and it don't have to. This job is not really got to be a counselor's job. Anybody can do this actually.
Exactly.
Because it's just knowing what you need for a student athlete to go to college.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's just knowing it, but it's time consuming.
It is.
Because what I did was I didn't want the guy to just do basketball and make it seem like it was just for us. So we did all the sports.
Good.
Good. But it was sent the way he did it, which I thought was correct, to say, hey, when you see someone that you think has the potential to be a Division I athlete, we'll start right there. We'll start with them. Then if you start saying, hey, as the time going, if this guy progresses, tell me so I can look in and see what he's doing, what he's taking, this, that, and other. You know, and I put them in where he's supposed to be, the right classes, let them parent know, put it on the grid. So what I did was, that's Coach Weber was at Illinois then. I called Coach Weber and asked him for the grid that they use for the athletes when they are giving their stuff to their compliance people. Right. So he sent me, the compliance people sent me the grid, so I was able to learn how to do the grid. And you put it in there and they tell you what your GPA is in the core. All you do is plug it into a thing and it just tell you your GPA in the core is a 2.7. And you need a 16 on the ACT to be eligible. You know, it just breaks everything down for you. It's not nothing hard. You just plug it into the spots, you know. So that's what I did. So I can know what you need. So now, guess what? The kids know, oh man, I need an 18 on the test because I got a 2.2 GPA in the core, or I got a 2.9 GPA, so I only need a 15 to get this, you know, or man, I need A's the rest of the way so I can make it, or I need B's the rest. So now you know what you need to get, you know. So you pushing at that. So it's no, damn, what I got to get. You know what you got to get.
You
so
know what you got to get. Hey,
look, this is what you need all year for you to qualify. These the grades you got to get all year to qualify. If you slip underneath this, it's a great possibility you won't qualify unless you get a 20 or 21 on the ACT. Right. You know, so it kind of helped the kids out to know too, like this is what I need to get, you know, because you got some that struggle and they write, you know, we know some that's borderline. So they need to know, I gotta get all B's right now. I need all B's. So now you go to class, you know, I gotta be getting a B. I can't be sitting up in here just messing around trying to get no C because it ain't gonna work for me. Right. You
know. Now, Robert, now we got to talk about some basketball, man.
Okay.
I know we talked about the academics. I like that part. That's all dandy. But what's gonna happen with this Morgan Park, Simeon battle of Vincent, man? Now that Nick is gone, you know, what's gonna happen with that?
Well, that's probably dead right now, man. I mean, we actually, and I don't know if you guys watched it, but we did a show last week on 13 Rings with Billy Garrett Sr., Billy Garrett, Melvin Nunn, and Kendrick.
Oh, we missed it.
I gotta go back and watch that. We gotta go watch that.
We talked about the Simeon and Morgan Park rivalry, you know, and Billy Garrett said even in college, and still with him playing in the G League, him and Kendrick both said they have never been in a rivalry or game of that magnitude that meant that much since they played basketball.
Wow.
That's that Vincent's
most intense and biggest games that they ever played in while they was in high school. And that's huge. You know, me and Nick joke about it all the time and talk about it and do all that. But for hear them say it, the kids say it, like how much it meant to them, you know, to win or, you know, not to lose to Simeon and all how much that meant to them, that was huge just to listen to that. You know, and if you look around the public league, that was really the only rivalry that was still left. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, there is no other rivalry that meant something where everybody in the city of Chicago pretty much stopped what they were doing to be a part. Mm-hmm. You know, to be a part of it. And it was great for me and Nick, and we did a bunch of, you know, jabbing at each other in the newspaper and all that type of stuff to, you know, just to hype it up.
Y'all was going at it like a WWE, man, like the conversation. But I just want to say something real quick and not cut you off. I appreciate what you and Nick and Slaughter was able to show people with the show 13 Rings. Y'all compete against each other, but y'all good friends.
Right. Yeah. And and you know what, Lib, is funny? Because Cox and Hamburg was the same way.
I know that.
They was competitors and people thought they hated each other and did not like each other, but they were best of friends. He respected what Hamburg did. Hamburg respected what Cox did, you know, and, you know, they had their little differences here and there, but it was more of a respect thing because they both wanted to win. You know, that's all. And that's the same thing with me and Nick and with Ty. We just want to win. It's not personal. You know, we talk to each other. We call each other. We do all that stuff. We was doing that stuff when Nick was at Morgan Park. I would call him. And last year, me and Nick's flopped film on other teams more than we did any other year.
Wow.
Y'all make sure they ain't going to beat us. What else finna come up?
And I thought one time he was going to slip up and send me some film on him that they played, but he didn't do that. But because we pretty much played the same team, especially when we went out of state.
Yeah.
So he would get film from some other people, and I would say, Nick, you got film on such and such. Oh, no problem. I'll shoot it over to you. He called me. You got film on such and such. I'll shoot it to me. Ty the same way. Ty, you got film on these people? Yes. He sent it to me. It was the same thing. It was the same way. Now, one thing with Ty was, it was hard to get in it, and I respect it. It was hard for him to send me film on people in his conference. He would not do it. Out of respect for his conference, he would not do it, and that's I get that. That's loyalty. You know what I'm saying? That's loyalty. He would not send me film on people in his conference because we played Lane Tech. I'm like, Ty, you got some film? And I don't know what I did with that film, Rob. I know you got it. Let me go and check and see if I can find it. I said that. I told my assistant coach, we got to call somebody else because he ain't gonna give it to me. But I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my conference. I ain't gonna do them like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do them like that. Man, you cool, but I'm not gonna do my conference people like that. And I respect that. And when he played Nick, he called me and actually said, I said, I can't do that. I said, I can't do that. I can't tell you what to do to Nick to beat him.
Right.
Playing at Morgan Park. That's the only time I beat him in the last 4 or 5 years. I beat him at Morgan Park. I beat him. And it's funny. The last, probably since 2013, when we left from playing the game at Chicago State, neither one of us have won a home game.
It never happens, right?
Wow.
He beat me at Simeon every time.
And you beat him?
Time.
Wow. That's classic, though.
That is, man. And Rob, I wanted to ask you this question, man. It's always been on my mind, and it goes back in the days too, with Cox and Hambrick, when you guys get into coaching and coaching young teenagers to become men, like you said. But if an opportunity comes your way to go coach in college, would you consider that, or it has to be something real sweet for you to, leave where you're at, because you're in a good place, you're winning, you're changing kids' lives. But if that opportunity, comes your way, would you, at least consider it,
Earlier in my career, I would have jumped at it. I would have jumped at it if it was the right thing, Right. People did a lot of talking about these people. Nobody ain't offered me no jobs. Did I did the stuff I needed to do when the U of I job came open with the search firm and all. I did that, and they did call me back and all that type of stuff. That stuff did happen, but nobody offered me no jobs. Nowhere for me to say, oh, I'm about to go. Nobody offered me no jobs, and that was fine because I was fine where I was at,
right?
And not being arrogant or nothing like that. Especially in the state of Illinois, I was the biggest thing that was shaking around here.
That's right.
So I wasn't tripping on, money is money, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
I'm more than others, and I'm used to not, I was brought up poor. So it's no big thing to me to have a whole bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? I know how to make way because my mother knows how to make a way, love to have a whole bunch of money, but there are problems too, so I'm fine with that. But, at this age, it has to be something that's really, really, really good, that's going to just knock me off my feet and I can't pass up, my daughter.
Like $5 million a year for 5 years?
Oh, that ain't got to go that high, man. Yeah, one time somebody was spreading rumors saying, you going with the Bulls and they going to pay. I said, man, the Bulls ain't got to pay me a little bit of nothing, man. For a little bit of nothing to get that opportunity. But my daughter's starting to play. She in high school. My son play. I mean, he in 3rd grade, but he playing.
Okay.
That stuff takes a lot of time from your family and stuff.
Right.
That's why I say at this point it has to be really good. But to go back to it, one person did actually give me a job. Okay. He actually hired me. Porter Mosley at Loyola. He actually hired me. It was my job. And I sat down with him and the athletic director, and we went on a tour of the campus 2 times, and he said, really, like if you want it, it's yours, And it's funny because this is the year that they went to the Final Four.
Wow.
The year they go to the Final Four, and with him, his guys always get jobs. That's what people told me. Like when you work for him, and people say that if you can work for him, you can work for anybody. You know,
I heard that. I heard that.
You know, and all his guys got Emmanuel Dilly. You know, he went to Missouri. Now he's at Northwestern. Daniel Robinson worked for him. Now he's at Iowa State. The Mullins kid got the head coaching job at Southern. You know, guys who worked for him, they moved around and got jobs. So that was one thing that was kind of intriguing at the time. You know, but I got back and sat down. And I'm like, man, this just too hard to give away. You know, this right away, man. I just can't get this away. This just too hard to give away. Right. You know, and I just said no. That was that. I just told him no and thank you. You know, because he was the only person who I felt like really gave me the opportunity to say, yeah, you know, here you go, you can get in the game. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna put me in the game. He gave me that opportunity, you know, and I respect him for it. I got a lot of respect for him. You know, and I turned it down. It wasn't like I just turned it down to come back to Simeon, you know, and be with those guys. And then I kind of let the guys know, and I let, you know, people know, like, hey man, I came back here because of y'all. You know, and the respect, like you say, Liv, to help these kids out and help them get to places, because you don't know if people are gonna be able to do that. You know, and you don't want that to happen. And I had a bunch of seniors there, and it's like, oh, do I lead them?
Right.
And what we're gonna do with them and stuff like that. So that was the only person who gave me that opportunity. But if you know, if Coach Cal called me tomorrow, we're gonna pack this little thing up over here and we're gonna roll.
Yeah, he grandfathered in. He ain't going nowhere.
Coach Cal called, we're gonna pack this thing up and we're gonna roll with him, man, and see what happens. But
so Rob, let's talk about you guys, both of you guys, because you guys are Simeon alums too. You guys seem like you have that big following, meaning you still keep the Simeon family together. You know, you get your alumni, they come back to support the program. I see it all the time on Facebook, Twitter, Simeon Nation, Wolverines Nation, stand up. And I know that has to feel good to see, you know, people coming back, sharing their love for Simeon sports in general. I'm not just going to talk about basketball, because you guys got a great football program, you got a baseball program, and the girls, right? The girls just won.
The girls are definitely in great form right now. They got Coach Davenport is doing a great job with them girls. I think 2 years ago they finished third. Then this year they won the city and state championship. They won the city championship a couple years ago. He's doing a great job. So, you know, it's funny you say that, Liv, because Simeon is the only school in CPS history who has won a Triple Crown, and we've done it 3 times.
3 times.
We've done it 3 times, and you know, winning football, baseball, and basketball. You know, as the city champs. Right. You know, that no other school has done that in the history, you know, of sports in Illinois. So that's and CPS, because you know the other baseball don't get a chance to really do that because they just got one sport. But that's very huge for a school and a program, and it goes with what you're saying. It's the Simeon way. You know, that's just that's what we call it. And you know, my wife always teased me. She like, y'all like a coat. You know, it's like a coat. It just pops up everywhere. Y'all, if it ain't, y'all gonna die for each other. Y'all ain't even got to know each other. He could have graduated in 72, but y'all gonna go for each other. And it just, you know, and if you talk to people, they always tell you we bleed blue and gold. That's us. We bleed blue. We just love it, because when we first got there and all of us was there, and Bob know, it was a family. Yeah, it was a family. Mr. Everett done made sure you understood as a family. Now, you can fight in here, but then nobody else be up here and come up here and fight. Y'all better fight together. Right. If somebody come up here, y'all fight together. Now, y'all gonna fight here together, because that's what brothers and sisters do. But when you go outside that door and you with somebody, you better not let somebody do something to somebody that you with that went to the school, because you're gonna have a problem. That's just like what your mama them told you. Your brother fight, you better fight too.
That's right.
You know, so that's what that was. And that's just, I mean, and it just carrying over till we adults. You know, we still like a family still now, you know, when we have our normal picnic that we have. I mean, you got guys that graduated in the 70s out there. Yeah. You know, when they went to Westcott, you know, when Simeon was in Westcott first, you know, and then when it transferred over to Kroger to the warehouse, you know, it's just a difference, you know, and dealing with Mr. Everett that whole time, and those guys and Coach Scott that whole time, from a transformation from the old building to the new building, they kept that same thing. And it's funny because it's a lady who was a police officer at the school when Miss Eric passed and Coach Scott passed and all them passed. She told me and Coach Dante, who was the football coach, she said, y'all know that this school is on y'all now. You know, because those guys, we're in those guys' place now. Coach Henry, Coach Scott, she said, this school is on y'all now. You know, so how this school gonna roll gonna depend on y'all because they passed this over to y'all. You know, we ain't thinking like that. We kind of young at that age. We like, man, this ain't our school. We just here. We just working, you know. But be so, that's what it is. You know, it is for us to keep it, you know, up to where it is. And I think we're doing a great job.
Yeah,
you know, football doing a great job. You know, basketball doing a great job. But I can't get off here without saying this. Coach Cox became one of my biggest mentors.
Wow.
As I started coaching. Right after Coach Hambrick passed, I spent a lot of time with Coach Cox because, you know, he used to come to all the games and he used to be a evaluator of the referees and all that type of stuff. So he used to come to a lot of games because pretty much we were playing the bigger games. So I had a lot of time to sit and talk with him, you know, about a whole lot of stuff. And the first time I really got the real chance to talk to him, we played Oak Hill here at UIC. And they number one in the country. You know, we playing them here at UIC. And I come out the locker room before the kids and I'm sitting there. I'm just sitting there before you get dressed. I'm just sitting out there. I'm sitting there and he's sitting at the desk and he said, young fella, just do what you've been doing. You're going to be fine. That's what he said. Just do what you've been doing. You're going to be fine. And I said, okay. Because I'm coming out there trying to figure out like this the biggest game of my career. You know what I'm saying? Now I played Oak Hill on the road, you know, but I've never played. I'm at home playing them in front of home. You know what I'm saying? It's the number one team in the country. I got to get this together. You know, and he just said, young fella, just do what you've been doing and you'll be fine. You know, he ain't give me no long drawn out, you know, he just said, do what you've been doing and you'll be fine. And then we come in, we beat them, you know, we end up beating them at home, but just that, and then just little things from time to time after that we had conversations with it. You know, people, when you tell them that, they like, how could Cox be your mentor and Coach Hambrick? And, you know, he was at King. I was like, it's just about somebody teaching you how to do stuff. And helping you get through these things. And what he helped me with was having so much talent and being able, you know, he knew how to manage you guys. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had so much talent. He knew how to manage it. People don't give enough credit of his coaching ability. They just figure, oh, he had all these great players and they were supposed to win. No, that ain't the easiest thing to do. Because
if that was the case, Rob, Kentucky would have won every year.
Yeah. That's all the good things. But he had to manage all those egos too.
Yeah,
you know, he had to manage them egos. You know, you guys had, and so do we have sometimes guys that's sitting on the bench who barely play could be the man at some schools.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, he could be the man, but he managed the egos for them to say, you know what, I'm gonna stay here with these guys and we're gonna win. You know, so that's what I learned from him a lot from him. And Coach Redmond was another good mentor for me over at Robeson, a guy who didn't have a talent, who was always in the thick of things. You know, because he ran his stuff, he made sure they executed his offense, and he was persistent about it. And he was a hell of a chess player, Coach Redmond was. And he told me that's how he strategized before his game sometimes. He would go play a chess game, you know, just to get ready to strategize for his game against whoever his opponent was.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, you know, so just stuff like that you don't know, you know, I don't know that. Now, I play chess, you know, and I kind of play now by myself with, when the season started, it took me almost a good 2 months to finish a game because I'm playing. I may make a move today and don't make another move till tomorrow. But if I got a game, I may make 2 moves. You know, just get my mental together. I'm getting my mental together.
Wow.
What did you remember from yesterday from the film? What did you remember when you watched film a day ago about this team? So now I'm getting on the chessboard saying, hey, you made this move 2 days ago. What do you remember about this move? How are you attacking this way? How are you attacking this way? So that kind of helps me out, you know, during the season, especially when I get into really big games. And I know I'll be able to, you know, strategize and do some stuff. So
you play chess, huh, Rob?
Yeah.
See, I was talking to guys online the other day about putting together a chess thing on Facebook, and we started playing. Okay, we're gonna do that, man, because I saw the app.
Yeah. But that stuff is what we got to do now, and that's what me and Ty and Nick is gone now. And me and Ty, this is what I told him that we should be doing. We got to start mentoring some of these young guys, man.
Right.
Because we'll step out the door.
Yeah.
we'll step out the door. I mean, I watched the Michael Jordan documentary when he said, some guys said they don't have to carry them off the court. He said, I'm gonna leave when I want to leave. I'm gonna be top of my game when I leave.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't carry me nowhere. You know,
Right.
that stuck with me. I'm gonna go when I'm ready to go. I ain't
Right.
gonna go when the game didn't pass me by.
That's
You
right.
know, I'm not gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna go out the door when I'm like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? And I can, and people gonna be like, you can still coach 2-3 more years. You absolutely right. So if I want to come back like he did, I can come back.
Right.
That's right.
Not when I'm just dead and I don't have no concept of the kids no more, none of that stuff. I'm not gonna go at that time. I'm gonna go like, hey,
You just a
I
grumpy
can
old
wake
man.
up tomorrow and say, this is it. I tell you all the time, I can wake up tomorrow and say, this is it. And, and the thing about it is, with the quarantine, it kind of helped you find other stuff to do. Because when you retire, it's like, what you gonna do now?
Yep. Yeah.
This has been your life. This basketball has been your life all this time. So now with this quarantine, it almost found me other stuff to do. You know, like I can do this now. I can do that now. You know,
That's right.
I can do this and I can do that. So it kind of found me something to say. If I go wake up tomorrow and say that's it, I ain't gonna be too mad because now I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I got something else I can find myself to do. You know, but I miss the game a lot. You know, but my kids keep it in me because they playing and they doing stuff. You know, and I'll be on the side watching them play, and now I'm like, shit, I never do it. I'm telling the coach, like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so antsy to get back on that sideline.
Right.
You know, to get back on that sideline, and you know, but it's just a thing that we have.
But before we let you go, man, we always do this with everybody. You know, drop some knowledge to an up and coming, you know, student athlete who may be young, trying to figure out some things, but want to get involved some kind of way in basketball. You know, like I tell people all the time, people think you just got to play basketball. You can be a manager, you can do this, you can do that. But what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to get involved in the game of basketball?
Well, first of all, and we talked about earlier, you got to do school. That's the most important thing. You got to do school. So, like you said, Lib, you don't have to play the game of basketball to be in the game of basketball. You don't have to do that. You know, Eric Spoelstra was a video guy.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, if you're the video guy and you breaking down all the film, you're gonna become one of the best coaches in the country.
That's right.
Or in the world. Because you're watching this every day. You're watching everything, and you breaking down film for Pat Riley, you know it got to be right. You know, it has to be right. So people want, well, how did he get his job from being a video guy? Because he was able to break down all the film.
Right.
Buzz Williams started off at Oklahoma City as a video guy. He didn't play no basketball. He was the video guy. You know, and I'm pretty sure people laughed at him and players threw towels at him and told him to do that. But now look at him now.
Right.
You know, look at him now. He's one of the highest paid coaches in college basketball. So you don't have to play the game to be in the game. You know,
Right.
You know, you can do other stuff to still stay around the game if you love it. And it's funny that you said, because like I just thought about that. One of my managers. So for us at Simeon, and Ty does a great job of it too. And I don't know about any other schools. I just know me and Ty does it. Our managers, we send them to college as well. So I have a manager that's at Mizzou right now, you know, and I have one that's at John Logan, who is he was the manager, and now they made him like the third assistant coach.
That's what's up.
Nice.
You know, he was going to Southern to be the manager there, but he ended up staying because John Logan told him that he could be, you know, the third assistant coach, and then not making enough money, but they paying for him to go to school at Southern because, you know, it's right down the street and stuff like that. So there's some kind of way he was coaching some type of something, and I saw somebody write on him saying up and coming coach.
Oh, wow.
And he was my manager for 4 years.
Wow.
You know, he was my manager. So when he started coaching, he was like, Coach, I really want to get into this. You know, should I stay the manager at Southern, or should I go to John Logan and be one of the coaches? You know, I really won't be on the staff. I really, there's you just came in position so you can help and do all this type of stuff. But I can be around and I can do all this and I can help recruit the kids. And I was like, well, you gotta do what's, gonna be best for you. You know, if that's what you love to do and you want to be a coach, you need to go with him and be a coach. You know, for them to call you back as the manager and say, hey, we got a position for you. They see something in you too,
Right.
So he calls all the time, he asks questions and stuff like that. And that's huge. So, and then you look at it, you look at Randall Hampton, who was Derek's best friend. You know, he played the game, but now he's Derek's PR person.
That's
He
what's
does
up.
all. He's still in the game. You know what I'm saying? You look at how LeBron then took his guys and put them in place to be successful. Yeah, they make a lot of money doing that stuff. So being in the game and playing the game is good, but you can still be outside the game and make a whole bunch of money, doing it. You still got to be a student though. You still got to be a student because you got to know what's going on. But you got to do that, and you could be in the game. So these kids just need to understand that stuff don't come overnight. It's gonna take you a minute to get where you're trying to get to too. Because like for myself, I coach elementary, freshman, sophomores, and varsity.
That's right.
Some guys just went straight to varsity. That's their path. I'm not knocking it.
That's right.
I'm not knocking it because they was in the right place at the right time to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But you talking about waiting your turn and going through the process, elementary, freshman, sophomore, varsity.
Wow.
That's the steps.
I went through every last one of them.
That's right.
I went through every last step, And the only place I did not win a championship was in elementary because Derrick Rose was on at Beasley and he kept beating me. Derrick and Tim was at Beasley and we would play them in the regionals and they would beat us all the time because I was coaching at Diet at the time. And we were a really good team, but we just ran into them every time and they beat us. So that's the only place that I did not win a championship that really mattered, to me in that place. So when I said earlier about winning these 500 games and that's still I'm right there, to doing that. So
what you got right now?
I got 444.
Oh yeah.
So we're 444 and 93 in 16 years.
That's nasty.
Say that again. Say that again, Rob.
444 and 93.
Wow.
444 and 93 in 16 years. 6 state championships.
444 and 93 in 16 years.
Man, dude.
The last couple of years, we've lost some in double digit losses, and that's because our schedule, because I play everybody and don't shy away from playing, teams and stuff like that. And it's not a big thing to me. It's more for the kids to be able to get seen throughout the country and get that experience, playing against college guys every day and stuff like that. But 444, you take me 2, maybe 3 years. I get my 500, and then I can probably say that's it.
Right.
Right. That time because after that, what else could I do?
Yeah.
What else could I do?
But that's good though, Robert, that you're doing that too, man, at Simeon and set goals. So I'm pretty sure that trickled down to your student athletes to set goals, write it down, make sure you look at it every day, that vision board and go after your dreams, man. I mean, anything is possible if we work and put our, minds to it and want to do it. Sometimes we just don't do it,
Right.
If you put your minds to it, man, anything is possible.
Right. You got that right.
Yeah. So man, we excited. We happy for you, man. And we definitely want to get you back on the show, All Ball Chicago. We got Robert, my man Smith, doing his thing at Simeon High School, the Wolverines. You just heard it from him. He wants to get to the 500. That was one of his goals when he first took over the job at Simeon, and he's close to doing that, man. So big shout out to Robert. Appreciate you joining us today on All Ball Chicago. Robert, you got anything you want to say?
Oh, man, much love to my fellow alumni, man. You know, thanks for letting us chop it up with you, Coach Rob.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys. I mean, All Ball Chicago is doing some great stuff for our city of Chicago. We definitely need it right now. You know, we're in a different world right now, man. This stuff that's going on in our city is heartening, man. It's just kind of sad. You know, every day you waking up and you're seeing, you know, senseless crimes going on and stuff like that. And, you know, this platform can help somebody. You know, somebody might be on here listening, a parent, you know, a guy just out listening, just going through their Facebook page, and we pop up and they can get it and it can help them. That in 13 Rings, what we're doing, that's the same way. And, you know, we need some other people like that with these platforms. And I see you guys have everybody on, and you don't discriminate at what it looked like. So that's really good. But, you know, for our city, things like this is much needed, you know. And Liv, you all the way in Florida still representing the Chi.
No doubt.
It is, you know, still 100. And Bobby, you know, you out in the burbs doing your thing, but it don't say none of that. It say Chicago. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. It says Chicago.
That's right. And definitely,
I'm gonna send you guys a new logo too for 13 Rings. It's off the chain, man.
Yeah, show it. Yeah.
Oh damn, Liv, we gotta raise our bar.
I'm gonna send it to you, man. It's beautiful, brother. It's beautiful.
So say it again, Rob, so some of the people that probably don't know about, you know, 13 Rings, where they can find you guys at.
Yeah, 13 Rings, we're on YouTube. You can catch us on YouTube. Pretty much every Sunday we come on. It's not live, it's taped, and we put it out, but it's some good stuff. We bring guys on to talk about basketball. Last week we had parents on with former players, which we thought was really, that was a good one, you know, to get their insights, you know, parents' insights on recruiting, how did they deal with me and Nick when their kids were at Simeon and at Morgan Park, and they kept it 100. They didn't go around it. You know, they talked about good, bad, you know, what they did, which was good. So parents were able to hear that, you know, and even the players were able to hear about the good times they had with us, the bad times they had with us, what they did different. I mean, it's crazy because I get on there and didn't know that Kendrick wanted to go to Morgan Park.
Wow.
His sister was there.
Right.
Oh.
His sister was there. I mean, here you go on the show and you're not even knowing he wanted to go to Morgan Park because he wanted to stay with his sister.
Oh.
But Melvin said, "Hey, look, I think this might be better for you."
Right.
And he said, "Man, I listened to my pops because he had not steered me wrong, you know, in no point." He said, "I did not fight him." He said, "But deep down in my heart, I wanted to go to Morgan Park because my sister was there."
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes, I mean, never knew that. He said, Coach Rob don't even know this, that I wanted to go to Morgan Park.
Wow. And I'm pretty sure some of the listeners right now didn't know that either.
Yeah. None of us knew. I didn't know.
Right. And you think what I had to do to try to guard him, Billy Garrett.
No. But you would have figured it out. You would have figured it out.
But it would have been hard trying to get to the point.
Wow.
But yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. I really do, man. This is great. Great.
Appreciate you too, brother.
God bless you, Coach Robert Smith, Simeon Vocational. Stand up, baby.
All right, man. Love you, man. Be safe, bro.
Hey.
All right, Coach.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Another good one, man.
Yeah, that was a good ass one.
That was fun too, man.
Yeah, man. Man, just to
talking.
learn so much about Rob, Coach Rob, man. That
Man,
dude is a tactician, dude.
But you learn a lot from people in general when you sit down and talk to them.
Right.
You know, it's just the people that don't want to understand people. When you don't sit down and talk to them, you can't understand them. You know, so if you judging me and you don't know me, you never sat down and talked to me, then how are you going to even say something about me?
Right.
So Rob just, you know, Coach Rob Smith just opened up, you know, and shared with his, you know, some knowledge that he has and some things that he do, his strategies and all that. It's great, man. And what I like about, you know, Chicago, you know, Simeon High School is that, you know, he's actually doing it, man, helping kids get into college. And that's the number one thing to me, helping, you know, especially African-American kids get an opportunity to further their lives, their academic lives at prestigious universities across the country and be able to play the game of basketball just a little bit more, longer, maybe 4 more years after high school, you get your degree. And if it's meant for you to be a professional and take it, further than that, playing basketball, then so do it, so be it. And I like what he said about Coach Hambrick, how Hambrick, yeah, you can come over here and coach, but you don't have your degree. that's you can't take my spot. I'm trying to groom you to take my spot. So I love that too. And then I love what Rob, did as well. I'm going back to school. I'm only 6 hours, behind.
6 hours away.
6 hours away. I need to go
so
back.
Many athletes walking around 6 hours away and won't go back and finish.
Yep. And if you truly want to do stuff, man, you have to, do it the right way. He went back, got his degree. Now what Hambrick stepped away. He didn't leave him with some not so good players. He left him with some sound talent, some damn good talent.
He left him with a first round draft pick.
So I mean,
damn Derrick Rose.
So
and I can see Derrick Rose like playing against a mediocre team. All right, man, here y'all. But when them killers come out there, man, come on, man. Let me get that. Come here, man. Let me get it. So shout out to him, Believe. I got a surprise inbox while we was online, man. Your boy Will Bynum.
Will the Thrill.
Will the Thrill want to reach out and get Bino on here. Shake and bake Bino. Let's go.
Man. That's the Crane Cougars, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely want to get Will to come on then.
Yeah.
Go ahead and book that one, man. And let's get Will on and talk about, hooping on that west side.
And in China.
Yeah, did his thing in China. I mean,
and
played in the
NBA.
league.
Yeah.
Went to Georgia Tech. First he was at Arizona, then he went to Georgia Tech. So yeah, let's definitely get Will on, man.
Let's go, man. My stomach, the clock going off in my stomach, big guy.
All right,
I know what time it is for you. What you finna be on, big fella?
Man, the George Mike. You see, I got that big eye on the chest, baby.
I see that, baby. I see that.
But yeah, man, that's and the finger roll. Man, there's a lot of teams got that finger roll put up in their face through that net. Most definitely, But yeah, man, go get something in the belly, man. And man, I enjoyed the show, man. Shout out to Robert Smith, man, again for joining us on All Ball Chicago. Simeon, head coach, doing his thing, man. Had a lot of legends come through there. Had a lot of great players come through Simeon High School. So big shout out to Robert. And again, man, if you want to come on the show, make sure you inbox me or Robert. We'll try our best to get you on, man. We're not, trying to just do certain teams or certain. It's just people want to come on the show, and we would love to have them. So make sure you inbox us.
What's up, All Ball Chicago Believe Podcast Network. Subscribe to our page. Go to our YouTube page. Subscribe. Your boy, I'm up out of here. Robert Bobby Reed, the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus Liberty.
Peace. I'm out of here. I'll holla.